people who have evolved to shed what are now unnecessary prehistoric qualities, like gills, large canines, and self-responsibility. And along with developing the ability to have an inability to tolerate even the slightest bit of discomfort, they've also evolved to develop 72 genders. Now, when we've studied the fossilized evidence of primitive people, we've discovered strong evidence that suggests they did all their thinking in their brains. Whereas the woke carry around additional brains in the form of devices like phones, tablets, and TVs, which is where all their thinking comes from. Now, let's not forget how the woke became the apex predators at the top of the food chain in the first place. Was it by outwitting, outsmarting, or being stronger than their competition? No, it's because they canceled all the predators that used to be above them. It's an advanced capability that no other species in nature has ever achieved. The former predators at the top of the food chain, like orca whales, lions, and gorillas, made the mistake of competing against other species by being better than them. Unlike the woke, their lack of adaptivity to become degenerates clearly led to their downfall from the top step of nature's podium. The woke have gotten to where they are not by judging people based on the content of their character, but by judging them based on their skin color and pronouns. They've evolved to have no character, so it simply doesn't matter to them. Darwin's theory of evolution is survival of the fittest. Yet to better understand the genetic development of the woke, our scientific analysis of stool droppings from Hollywood celebrities, along with carbon dating Molotov cocktail shrapnel from downtown Portland, has proven that what's more true than survival of the fittest is survival of the outraged. Whereas those who archaically lived peacefully, productively, and lovingly have simply died off, because they weren't fit to survive. Now, the woke have a high degree of intellectual capacity for outrage, which makes them capable of even being offended by their own God-given genders. And where baboons speak a language of throwing feces at each other, the woke speak a language of virtue signaling at each other. And they thrive eating a diet primarily based in propaganda. When learning about the woke, it's best to think of evolution as a spectrum. Intelligence evolved into outrage, freedom evolved into obedience, love evolved into hate, and self-responsibility evolved into socialism. Studying ancient iterations of people reveals interesting hieroglyphic evidence that they worshipped a rather primitive interpretation of a non-human god, one that was all-loving in them and around them at all times, and to be trusted as the most important source of life guidance, whereas the woke have several gods in human form that they're very obedient to. The woke have advanced their genetic IQs to the point that they no longer base facts on truth. Now, this is an exciting intellectual advancement that previous hominous eras only could have imagined.